With the S&P, Russell, and Nasdaq all in the red, can we turn around tomorrow's session? But before we get into that, there's the closing bell with the S&Ps finishing the day down about 28 points. We take a look how the day traded. We got dumped in the European session, and then again as the market opened up for the US markets, struggling to find a bottom as the day went on. But when we take a look at the SPX, we're sitting right at the lower edge on the week at 41.31. We're at 41.34. Now, we came into this week expecting 55 points, and on a Tuesday session, we're already at that lower edge. Now, when we just take a look at this thing from a daily, if we continue to fall down, 1.5 sigma will play 41.03, and a 2 sigma move will play 4,076. However, if we are going to break this lower edge on the week, the move is going to come out of the Nasdaq. And when we take a look at this Nasdaq, it's down 1% on the day and looking pretty scary. Seeing a double top is quite concerning, but when we take a look at the VIX, we can see it's getting a little spike. However, still at an 18.5. When we look at the VVIX, it's sitting at a 116.7. So it's did wick. However, when we look at it intraday, it got that pop into lunch, however, cooled off a bit. This will be interesting to watch how volatility trades in tomorrow's session because these VIX futures are rolling in tomorrow's session into the next month contract. But back to the Nasdaq, when we take a look at it on the expected move, our lower edge was 13,744, which we're sitting right now at this close. We're about, I would say, 10 points above this lower edge. So it's going to be very interesting to see tomorrow if we can hold this level. However, if we do break that, I had some Fibonacci levels, and in this 13,620 was an upper edge from 2 weeks ago. I think this level would be very strong if we did break this lower edge, but ultimately that's going to come down to what the bonds want to do. And when we take a look at the bonds today, they're up about 1/3%. The bonds are trying to break out here, and if they get going, I think it's going to drive yields down a lot, which could give these growth name stocks a nice boost. And when we take a look at the TNX, we can see it's down about 2.5%, sitting at a 1.56% yield. We know the Nasdaq's comfortable with yields up in this level. The question becomes, do we break 1.5 and continue to slide? Doing that would mean the bonds would be breaking up to the upside, which could give these tech name stocks a nice boost, which would drag all these indices higher. But I mean, when you take a look at the Russell 2000, today it was down 2%. On the expected move, we broke the lower edge and we almost hit a 2 sigma at 21.59. So the small caps were definitely taking a beating today. And when we take a look across the board at our sectors, consumer staples up 0.5%. It was one of 2 sectors in the green, putting a new all-time high. It was healthcare as well, up about 40 basis points. It too putting in a new all-time high. However, we see the big 5 that's down close to 1%. We see the XLK down a bit more. This is quite scary to see. Even industrials down 1%. We see software stocks 1.3%. That put a lot of stress on the Russell. Even the financials down 1.8. It's the XLE today down 2.5. That's really lagging behind the bunch. However, going into tomorrow, I want to watch what the big 5 does. We can see today Facebook was the only one of the bunch in the green. Can Apple turn it around and Microsoft get going? If these big name companies get going, I think if the big 5 can stay in the green, it's enough to keep the market afloat. So we see what's happening in bonds and equities. What's going on with the dollar and our commodities? And when we take a look at the dollar index, we can see it's up about 18 basis points. Falling since the beginning of April, it's trying to find a bottom here. Moving over to crude oil, it's down about 1.3%, getting pretty volatile with volume picking up here. It was a large reason why the XLE was down as much in today's tape. And we take a look at gold today, up 40 basis points, sitting at 1778. Gold is trying to get a bid underneath it. When we just take a look at some of its technicals, we see money flow is coming down a bit. RSI still has some room to run. However, stochastic is a bit high. So ultimately, gold moving is going to come down to what the dollar wants to do. If the dollar puts a short-term bottom in, it's going to send gold back down, maybe back down to this 1730. And then we have Bitcoin today, up 1%. However, it's getting volatile. Hitting that $1 trillion mark, we just look how it traded, coming right around that area, getting a strong bounce into the close. When we take a look at some of my charts, I'll pull them up here and we can take a look. Looking at the Coinbase chart, it's kind of in no man's land here. 59.4 is a Fibonacci, as well as around 51.9. So this chart's not giving me much of a read. The Binance chart, we're between 57.9, call it, and 54.4. So it's just pretty good. To stay in between these Fibonacci's would be a nice win. Consolidate here, trying to find a base after falling from 64,000. And that $1 trillion mark has been a nice stake in the sand. Moving on to the Bitstamp chart. Again, not seeing much here. We see the pitchfork right there around 53.3. Again, see that crossover May 2nd. Big date coming. So whether we go sideways, pop up here, come down here, big volatility is coming in the beginning of May, towards the end of April. We'll have to take it day by day, but Bitcoin's consolidating is a great sign. And anytime you see it down, add a couple hundred to your portfolio. There you have it for the stock market breakdown. So can we turn around tomorrow's session? Well, hitting the lower edge in all our major indices is a good sign. Potentially could be telling us the worst is behind us. Statistically speaking, that's 1 sigma. That's 67% of the time we fall within that mean. So breaking that, we could have to buckle up for some volatility. But ultimately, I think the bonds have a big role in this marketplace, and they're at a pretty pivotal level. They want to break up. It's going to continue to push yields down. Pushing the yields down is going to boost these growth name stocks. If these growth name stocks get a boost, I think technology name stocks are enough to lift this marketplace higher, or at least keep it flat. But keep your eyes on what the VVIX does tomorrow. The VIX futures are rolling, so see if the VVIX trends south. It had a relatively weak close, but it was up to say the least. But if you watched this far and you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. It means a lot when you guys can show some support. And if you're watching me for the first time, I do these every single day. Show some love and hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot if you guys can do that. But any comments or questions, where do you guys see the market going in tomorrow's tape to the end of the week? I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. But on that note, I will see you in the next one. Have a great night. Take care. Peace!